Do you think it's from that point where he had the connectivity issues and had to like play on his phone? Is this him like returning to form?
You know, that's actually an excellent point you make. I'm going to get to this sooner, but game number 4 is getting underway right now. We're going to find out what they've been doing. But yeah, going back to that point, that's a really excellent point you make. Kaldi, when they had this match versus RDU, this is when he was having his connectivity issues. This is when he had an IT guy working with him to get the situation solved. It came to the point where Kaldi was looking like he was going to forfeit the match, pulls out his phone and decides to battle.
Yeah, maybe this is the Kaldi we would have seen, you know, if he didn't have to have the IT guy over his shoulder while he's frantically playing on his phone. I can just see it, this IT guy literally over his shoulder messing with his computer while he's just got his back turned and he's just flicking through his phone. And look at the deck we're seeing from RDU here, by the way.
See, I can imagine the IT guy looking over his shoulder and yelling at him for the plays that he's
making.
Like,
no, don't attack, don't attack. He like has no idea who Kaldi is. Doesn't know he's just one of the best players in the whole world.
IT guys play Hearthstone too.
Right. No, I'm not saying that. You know, the IT guy's like, I play a little Hearthstone. Kaldi's like, oh, for real? Like, what do you like to, you know, trying to be polite? Like, what do you like to play? He's like, I really like my pirate deck right now.
You know, in high school, this is like one of the most embarrassing moments of my life. I was walking out to like where like the bus stops were, and a guy was like playing with a deck of cards. And I was like, hey, you want to see a magic trick? And I show him a little crappy magic trick. He goes, let me show you one that I've been practicing for a while. You know the 5, 6, 7 club where you use the entire deck and you shuffle it like 40 times and you tell a story, and every time you mention a number, you flick off the top card of the deck and you have the other person shuffle it for you and then you reshuffle it and do it? This guy gets like 2nd place at junior national championships in Magic. And I was like, this is the one guy that I asked if he wanted to see him. Never asked anyone if they want to see a magic trick ever again.
Yeah, you learned your lesson there.
Yeah, just never going to do it ever again. But yeah, this matchup here, very critical one right now. RDU's queued up Rogue, which is honestly not what I would have expected from him, and I think part of the reason why he's doing it. But in this matchup, you know, Grim Patron is a very, very scary deck, especially when you don't have a lot of defensive measures. So if RDU can't clear everything that's going on and also find the pressure to kill Kaldi, this match gets out of control.
Yeah, this match can definitely control it. Now, you mentioned, you know, you weren't expecting him to pick this, and neither was I. So I was like, look at this deck that RDU's playing. You know, is this the randomness we're finally starting to see that he's claimed he's had the whole season?
Well, I don't know if against Kaldi, if the random element is really the right place to be. It definitely could be. You know, he's mentioned several times that he will queue random decks. But when you have everything on the line, is that the school of thought that you want to be in? And knowing RDU personally, I know that he does believe that this is a better way to play because it negates that edge. Let the plays inside the game figure out who's going to win. But how much edge do you really have over Kaldi in that manner?
Yeah, I don't believe you have a gigantic. It's hard to get a huge edge over another professional player, especially one who thinks as deep as Kaldi does.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. So, you know, I see opinions on both sides. It can kind of go either way.
Yeah, now this matchup can be very difficult for the Rogue player because what they're trying to do is just stick a minion to the board. They want one to be there when they start their turn because it's so dangerous for the other deck to deal with because of cards just like that one, your Sharp Sword Oil.
That's one of the biggest draws in the deck right now. But, I mean, when you're facing down a turn 6 Emperor Thors on, suddenly your hand changes in dynamic.
Now here's the thing. This is the turn for RDU. He gets to gain back a ton of tempo here this turn. He has a prep. He has a Blade Flurry, he has Eviscerate, he can do all kinds of awesome things over the next turn or two, and he's going to have minions left over next turn.
Yeah, and the second Tinker Sharp Sword Oil actually makes a big difference here. I mean, you're potentially looking at him ending the game in a turn or two, but you know, he's starting to set minions on the board that will multiply Grim Patrons at this point. So 6, 7, 8, 9. If Kaldi can live for 2 more turns, it almost looks like he's pretty darn close to just lethal.
Yeah, he needs a Warsong Commander for these Grim Patrons so he can kind of start going off. You know, because all the 1/1s on board are going to be a liability for RDU here. So Kaldi, he just needs time here, but RDU is going to try to keep him from having that. Lotheb is going to be big in this matchup.
Yeah, this is a matter of whether or not RDU can kill Kaldi in 2 turns. Because if Kaldi gets to turn 9, nightmare for RDU. If Kaldi does not get to turn 9, obviously it's because he's dead, so that's a nightmare for him.
And this is the turn I was trying to allude to. There's a good chance Kaldi just armors up and says go here, and then this Lotheb is going to shut down anything he thought he was going to do for the next turn. RDU poised to take a win here and go into game 5. This was a back-breaking turn.
Yeah, I mean, just the fact that RDU had the right minions, Kaldi has a lot of his combo pieces, not the right answers right now. Yeah, I mean, you're looking at a a hand where on turn 8, Kaldi could have potentially just used a bunch of Inner Rages to try to get this board cleaned up. but he is not, like 24 is not keeping him alive this turn.
Yeah, 24. He has to know that he's very, very close to death here, but he's going to get some damage in most likely just so he could try to win next turn. He probably thinks that's the best way and the best chance he has it here, but RDU probably should be able to clean this up very easily
He's
this
got
turn.
way more than 24 points of damage.
He has coin, he has 2 Tinker Sharps and Oils, 2 Blade Flurries, and a
preparation,
prep.
yeah.
I mean,
I'm sorry. He also has 13 points of damage on board.
yeah, I mean, he can kill him multiple ways here.
Yeah, RDU could close his eyes and start clicking buttons. And
if the
probably
prep lands, I mean, if the Tinker Sharp and Oil lands on the wrong minion twice here, can he win?
Yeah, he's still
got easily lethal, right?
Because the Blade Flurries and just everything going RDU's way this game. I mean, Kaldi's hand was fantastic, but he needed one extra turn to get this done, and he didn't have enough. The lack of weapons are really what was a catalyst to this board position. We are going to game number 5.
Yeah, I heard you like combos, bro. Grim Patron, you know? I got some combos too.
Yeah, it comes off a little bit earlier too when they draw the preparation. Have your Emperor Thor's on. I want all the mana in one big burst, and I want it all in one big turn.